Welcome back, valued viewers, and welcome back to the channel, yeah. Alright, so what we're doing this week is a little bit different than normal. Like I mentioned quite a while back, I built a big combination farm. It's a raid farm, iron farm, with a giant villager trading hall on the top. And before people start, getting crazy in the comment section below, yes, I did see that old guy made a video recently. I haven't seen it, but somebody from Serialcraft actually showed me in the Discord. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I definitely posted it months ago in Serialcraft, so I don't know. I'll have to have a look at it. His is probably way better than mine. You should probably definitely go to his channel instead, but let's get into this. Julia.
They're okay. I don't mean I don't know how to break this to you, but they seem like they may be pleasure pigs, like they're being kept in office for a reason.
Genome from the future saying, yes, you're completely right. This was a stupid idea. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to find an outpost, right? And then go up to this top floor. And then you want to take either glass panes or steel bars. I'm going to use iron bars. And then you want to just go one block up from the floor and just fill the entire area with them. And so the reason you do this is pretty common knowledge. It's the fact that the mobs actually spawn on one corner of a block. I don't remember the direction of that corner, but it's the positive X, positive Z direction. So anyway, and then you move at least, just move around 30 blocks away, wait for something to spawn in, and then remove all the bars or panes that are not holding in the mobs, the raid mobs. These guys, the outpost mobs. They're not raid mobs, but they're, you know what I mean. Alright, so then just remove all of these, and then you can see that they're standing on the corner of 4 different blocks. And the one that you want to keep, you want to remove the 3 that are not in the positive X, positive Z direction. See? Positive Z, positive X. Then you can either remove the floor like I did or not, but this is where the Trident Killer is going to be. So these guys will spawn, fall down, get killed in the Trident Killer. And then directly above that is where you're going to want your raid farm Trident Killer, and where the iron golems are also going to die, and the cats. Lots and lots of cats. Very many cats. So anyway, let's go ahead and pillar up from there using scaffolding. And keep in mind that later you're going to want to move this scaffolding somewhere better, because this is definitely going to be in the way in your down there in the where those guys are spawning in. And what the heck is this? Okay. Bedrock. Anyway, and then you want to pillar up to a distance that allows for your guys down there to spawn in, fall into the Trident Killer, and be near the edge of spawning distance. So you don't want them to despawn, but you want you want as few mobs as possible to be inside spawning radius, right? So you don't want like the ground to be inside of your spawning sphere. So for a simulation distance of 4, which is what realms are, and I think a lot of multiplayer servers are going to be that as well. Around 40 is what works really well. So we're at 115, and down there is 75. But if you're using a different simulation distance, you'll need to adjust that. So over the side that the guys down there are, you're going to want to make a little stone or some kind of platform. At this point, it doesn't really matter. You should probably use solid blocks so you don't have to replace anything later, but it needs to be big enough that you can have a 2x2 area for a trident killer, and then 2 thick walls, like 2 block thick walls on 3 sides, and then a 1 thick glass wall on the side where you're going to be AFKing so you can see inside. So, and then just make those walls around it. Yeah, I think I did one too few there. Anyway, and then make your 2 wide glass wall in the front, and then pillar up with your other blocks, with your solid blocks on the other sides, so that it roughly looks like this. Yeah, so the height that you want to go is actually, I don't really have a way of figuring out what it actually is. It seems to be kind of random. I'll explain it later. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going 13 blocks up. So you can do that, and it should work. In this actual recording, it didn't, but it should work, and I'll explain later why that is. But yeah, so just make your 2 wide walls with this drop chute here, and then you're gonna actually make another layer of glass in just a second. Let me just finish this one up, and then yeah, so then one more layer of glass, but not where you're standing at the bottom, right? And then just pillar those up to the top, and then remove the top 2 because you want to actually have things be able to spawn here. So up here on top, you're going to have a platform that's 8 blocks from the drop chute in every direction. But if you're building this before 17.30 release, then you're going to want to go down 4 blocks from that top layer and make a second layer. And the reason that you don't need to do it if you're doing this after 17.30 is because they changed the iron golem spawning to where it doesn't really matter to have the second layer. So basically just the 1 layer is fine. And you could actually do that in the early versions before 17.30. You could actually just skip this step entirely. Like, it probably improves your rates a bit with the iron farm, but it shouldn't make any difference on the raid farm at all. And then we'll come back to this. Right, so on the top layer, you want to go 8 blocks out, and then on the 9th block, you want to actually make a 3-high wall. So you can see I already did some of this. So 8, 9, 8, 9 is here, and then just wall this in. So then it'll be like this. Then put 1 in each corner, like whoop, so. Yeah, at the bottom. And then we can go ahead and put the water in now, so that while we're doing the rest of it, we don't spawn a bunch of mobs, like zombies and skeletons and whatnot. So you want to actually spam the water all along the wall, except for the block right next to the blocks in the corner, so you don't get, water sources all the way across the thing. You want flowing water. And it's 8 blocks to the drop chute, so this should go straight to the edge of the drop chute like that. Yeah, and that's what this looks like. So for now, ignore that bottom layer because, like I said, you probably don't need to make it, but I will tell you how and the dimensions and everything later. But right now, what you want to do is get the trading hall going. So what you want to do here is put leaves down. You want to go 4 blocks out with leaves all the way around it. Yeah, so I'm using oak leaves. You'll probably want to use like jungle leaves are my favorite because they're really easy to get, right? Because jungle tree, you can make the giant jungle trees. So anyway, just fill it 4 blocks, 4 leaf blocks out all the way around, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll be right back when it's filled in. All right. So once it's filled in like that, what you want to do is start making the places where the villagers are going to go. So we're going to go every one apart like this, and then you want to go 2 up and then 1 over the top in the middle, right? Like this. So basically making a little leaf house for our villagers that we'll be trading with. And you want to do this all the way around, and it'll be 10 of the little houses on each side. So you'll have 40 total spaces for villagers. That's a lot. And then when that's done, what you want to do is you want to put 1 up here, like this, all the way around. And what this is going to do is actually keep the raid spawns from spawning on top of... and you can fill in the corners too, by the way. But it keeps the raids from spawning on top of the workstations of the villagers in your trading hall. So yeah, just bring this all the way around like this. Next, you're going to want to get your villagers into these spots, right? And what you're going to want to do is put a temporary block in front of them to keep them in. So I'm going to use the stairs. When you do it, you're going to want to put the villagers first into the spots and then put the temporary blocks, obviously. But I'm going to spawn them in using a spawn egg, so I'm just going to put them all in really quick all at once. So while I try to figure out how to get villagers in using spawn eggs, when you put yours in, what I recommend is that you actually just keep some breeding up here. And then at night, once the beds are in, they'll actually move to toward the beds. And they'll go into these slots. So that actually works. You could also, use mine carts or... I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do. Minecarts would work just great. You could just put some solid blocks on top of the leaves and minecart rails and just have a little breeder somewhere temporarily. And again, you don't have to fill all of these in at once. I'm going to, just so that I can see some iron golems for the video. But you could easily just do this, a few villagers at a time. Like for the first part, you could just have like 10 villagers, and it'll work just fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, and then so you just get them into these spots, and then trap them with the temporary blocks, and get rid of any of these. These are garbage. Yeah, and then. And those babies are going to get out and just go everywhere. So, yeah, there's one. That was dumb. Anyway, then you put trapdoors on top of each of your temporary blocks. Okay? And that's serving 2 purposes. One, it's going to keep them in while you replace the temporary block underneath with a workstation later. And the other thing that it does is that it makes it so that there's no space between your workstation block and the leaf block above, because if there's a space, then the on all of those, then the I just want to test this water thing real quick. Anyway, if there's a space, the raids can spawn on top of the workstations. So anytime you add anything in here, there's got to be leaves or a series of blocks and then leaves on top. And so, yeah, after you've done that, what you want to do is put down a workstation. Oh, wait, no, this is not going to work because we haven't done the beds. So let's do the beds. So you'll first want to pillar up by 3 blocks, and then make a or wait, is it 3 blocks or 4 blocks? It should be 3 blocks. So 3 blocks, and then make a platform. So this platform should be wide enough for 6 beds, and then or not 6 beds, sorry, 3 beds, so 6 blocks. So 6 blocks by 6 blocks, centered over the drop chute, and then you you'll want to add two. You'll want to add 2 blocks in the middle of each side, like this. Here and here, here and here, here and here, and here and here. And then you're going to fill this entire platform with beds. Okay? And that's going to be the center of the village, those first 2. But just in case anything changes, I like to put these ones in first, with the pillows facing the middle, because the pillows become the center of the village. So if anything changes, it's more likely to switch to, something closer to the center. So then just fill that all up with beds, and then you can break all the blocks underneath. And then we'll do the next layer of beds, because this is only a little bit more than half of them. And so, yeah, we'll go do the other part down here. So, one down from that top layer, you're going to want to make a platform that doesn't get in the way of the drop chute. And if you don't do this bottom layer, and again, we'll come back to it later, if you don't do this bottom layer, then it will put the beds in, kind of stuck into the drop chute, and that's perfectly fine. So, yeah, you can do that. Don't worry about it. And so it'll either be like this, floating above the bottom layer, or it will be in the side of the drop chute. And then you, again, it's 1 ring, 2 wide all the way around, and then 2 extra beds to make 18 down here and 22 above, which is 40 beds in total. And so just cover this with beds. Again, I'm doing the same pattern that I did up top, but it doesn't really matter. Just fill it with beds. And this corner is the last corner. Add this one, the one left on the other side, and then just remove all the blocks underneath. Okay, so now comes the fun part. What you want to do is you want to put down a workstation like that, and then find the guy that changed, break the workstation, break the temporary block, and then put water against that back block that's part of the wall. And you can go, it's actually pretty easy if you, okay, you don't actually have to hit them normally. I'm just not doing this properly. I should probably, yeah, there we go. If you close the thing, then do it, and then put the workstation back, and then you should change back, yep. And then you just do this for the rest of them. Yeah? Okay, so then you're going to want to come back down to where your trident killer is going to be. And I put a block there just to make it light in here. And then you're going to want to dig out kind of everything but where the actual trident killer center is going to be. And then you're going to want to build your trident killer. So not there, you're going to want to put your first piston there. And then in each of these, the 3 corners on this right side and the back one on the left side, you're going to put droppers, but you want a solid block beneath each of your pistons, like that, and then an observer facing a dropper in the corner, like that, and then so another solid block, temporary block in this corner, observer facing that temporary block, you can break that temporary block, and then put a dropper in that corner, an observer facing that dropper, then a solid block behind that observer, another dropper in this corner, and then an observer facing that dropper, and then a solid block there. Then you're going to want to put a repeater in this corner, but you can't put a solid block there or the raids can spawn on it, and you can't put leaves there because let me grab a repeater here, and so you can't place them. It doesn't place on leaves, so what you got to do is you got to move your make a scaffolding arm that reaches to there. So you just move your scaffolding platform to here. Make sure that you do this after the scaffolding platform is moved to where you actually want it finally. Remember that we put at the beginning we put it in a different place than we probably want it, because when we build the trident killer down below, this all the scaffolding is going to be in the way, so we're going to have to move it. So make sure that you have the scaffolding where from the bottom to up here where you want it in the end. Okay, and then that's that, and then you just fill back in the walls with the solid blocks. But first, put a piece of scaffolding right here with a piece of redstone dust on it. If I can just remember where redstone dust is. There it is. Put one redstone dust right there on that scaffolding, and then put a lever here for your on-off switch. Okay, that's off. Now we can fill the walls back in with solid blocks like they were. All the spots with solid blocks like it was. And then 2 blocks up from the pistons, you want to break out those three solid blocks from the drop chute, and then you want to put signs in these places. One sec. These places here. So one sign here, and then a sign here, and a sign here. And then you're going to put lava in that one, like that. And this is going to do 2 things. It's going to kill the iron golems, and it's going to keep the Ravengers from falling into the bottom of here. Because if the Ravengers fall in here, pretty much the Trident Killer will shove them through the walls eventually. It seems to be completely unavoidable. And then eventually we're going to waterlog that piston in that back corner. And then go down right here and place a stair upside down just like that. And that'll let your XP come out. So now you're going to want to go down below, and then below one of the droppers there, you're going to want to put another dropper facing outward, and then feed your hoppers into it, and no, not there. Put hoppers under the Trident Killer like this. They're 1 block down from the actual floor of the Trident Killer, because you need to have leaves in here. And the reason that you need leaves in the bottom is because otherwise the raids can spawn down here, and then you get Ravengers and the Trident Killer shoves them through the walls. So in order to get the drops down into the hoppers and off of this piston when the Trident Killer is off, we're going to need to put hopper minecarts. and that's a complicated process. So, yeah, let me show you how to do it. So first, you want to get a hopper minecart in that spot that I just broke the uh, rail for, and then so you build the rail like it was with one piece of leaves and the opposite spot there, and then break the rails, put the leaves, and then get a hopper minecart here somewhere. Yeah, they put them in a sub list, right? So, yeah, we don't need pistons anymore. Alright, so drop a hopper minecart there and then break the rail. Okay. Break the rail. No. Break the rail. Okay. You know what? Maybe I can just, maybe I can just shove it in. Let's see. So if I go down here, yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, just shove it in like that. And then the next one is more difficult. So just put that last leaf in. Yeah, so put these leaves back and then break these blocks here. This one, this piston, this block, the repeater, and then put temporary blocks here and here, and a rail like this. Yeah, you can put the observer back there, and then break these this one and this one, and put a temporary block, and then break these so you can get behind. Put hopper minecart there, and then shove it in, and then put your observer back here, and your repeater on 2 ticks right here. Or is that 3 ticks? You click it twice. And then put your piston back. And, okay. Put your piston back where it goes. And then fill in the wall and put the upside down stair back where it goes. Like that. Upside down stair. And that is done. So you put the water there like that, and then when this is off, all the water will push the any drops into that second minecart hopper that we did. And then as long as it's on, it'll be dropping items down here. Unless you're dumb and put it in the wrong place. Okay, so yeah, there are items here that are just not dropping. So the signal from that dropper above it is not being transmitted into it, which I would have thought that it should. But either way, it's better if we put it under this solid block. Oh no, because it's observing that one. Yeah, okay, anyway. So it's better there anyway. And then if you put some stuff in it, it'll drop. And if you put a stair in front of it, it will drop them straight down. Like so. Drop them all on one single square. So you can just put one hopper there and it'll pick everything right up. And it's out of stuff to drop. But anyway. So then come back up here, fill this in with glass, put, yeah, just except for the 2 bottom ones so you can walk right up there. And you can throw tridents in through the little hole in the stair. And then you're going to want to go up above and break the blocks, any blocks that you might have put to keep things from, mobs from falling down, like the iron golems and the cats. while you were building it, and then break this, and then build a little platform out here for AFKing. And yeah, that's about it up here for now. Yeah, when you build the AFK platform, when you build where you want to build the AFK, where you want to AFK here, you don't want to AFK right up against the glass like this, because the iron golems can actually get hit by the tridents, get mad at you, and then actually hit you through the glass. So you'll actually want to do it back a little bit, like where I was. And yeah. And also, if there are a whole bunch of them like this, they do get kind of stuck. But it's not that big of a deal. They will fall in kind of quickly. And if you're running any raids, they fall in really, really quickly because they get mad at the raid mobs. But yeah, that's that for now. Yeah, so now go back down, throw a trident in, if the cats will let you, into the trident killer. Yeah, no, it's got to go all the way in. No. All the way. Yeah, you're gonna have to kill a lot of cats. Should have done the trident before. Alright, there we go. Now we got 2 tridents in there. Okay, flip it off, and then you can test it. So there's a cat, and you turn on the trident killer, and the kitty dies. Yeah, and the iron golems shouldn't fall into the actual trident killer. They kind of swim on the water that we put in, and then they float up into the lava a bit until they die, and then they drop their iron, and the iron drops down with all the other drops. And then we need to go down to the bottom and actually make the trident killer for getting our yeah, we got all the drops in this thing, and make the trident killer so that we can get our bad omen effect and start raids. So alright, so come back down here, kill all of these guys. Okay, and then break these bars and put a piece of glass 1 block above the spawning block there. So 1, 2, yeah, 1 block above, like that. Break, not that. Break that one. Put the block back for the guys to spawn on. Okay. And then you're gonna want to take glass on. Make sure you're on the right side. So you're gonna want to take glass and box this area where it's spawning in like so. Make a 2x2 area because you're gonna have a trident killer in the bottom. So like this, just like this, and then one more, and then they will spawn there and drop down below. So yeah, so that'll work. And then actually, yeah, you want to spawn proof this layer also, but you don't need to put leaves because raids won't spawn this low. So you can put leaves if you want, but you can put torches. It doesn't seem to really affect these guys spawning very much. So, but if you're worried about light, you could also just use carpets or slabs or whatever, and then come back down here, and then you're gonna want to make your trident killer. So what I like to do, yeah, see, I told you before that this was going to be in the way, so we're going to have to break it, and it'll break the stuff up above. But like I told you before, before you do that, just make sure that you um, have your scaffolding where you want it. It doesn't have to be here. It doesn't have to come through the thing at all. It can go. It can be completely on the edge or whatever. As long as it'll reach the killer up above. So then, yeah. So clear that out, and then make your trident killer. You can make whatever trident killer you want, but what I like to do for this sort of thing, since I can, and the building is here already, like this. And yeah, so just build your trident killer however you like, whatever one you like, and then close it in with glass, like so you can see what's going on inside. And then, oh, I made this in the wrong place. And then just throw your tridents in there. Or, yeah, okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make the kind that I kind of like. So you put glass panes on the bottom, and then you put a water stream underneath so that it washes the items straight out from the trident killer instead of having to do like hoppers or any redstone. Learned that from a guy on Serialcraft, TKO, nice guy. Very handy trick. So you do this. If we want the items to fall this way, you make a little water stream going that way. And then you close it up. Yeah, you can close it up with glass so you can see what's in there. Like so. One more glass there, and then items will go out through there. So, and we just enclose this. So, like that. There and there, and there and there. And we can put glass on the bottom as well. Why not? And then the items will flow out here if we just put some glass and a button somewhere. So like, yeah, we can put a button here now. Button, where are the buttons? There we go, any button. Button there to stop the water, and then grab a bucket of water and put it in that far corner back there. Like so. And it'll wash all the items out there and onto the ground. Or into whatever storage system you want to build. Before we go further, let's go right back up all the way to the top and cover all this stone with leaves. Yeah, so any place that there isn't leaves you need to cover, right? And then it turns out that with the raids and the iron golems, the iron golems sometimes toss the mobs over the edge. So I find that if I put this one more layer here, it makes it happen a lot less. It will still happen occasionally. So, I mean, maybe it's a good idea to put a lid on the entire thing and cover it with leaves, but that's a lot of stone and leaves. So, another idea maybe just spam boats up here on the edge, and then if they get thrown out, they'll get caught in boats and it'll shut off. And then cover these beds with some solid blocks. Make sure they're not breakable solid blocks by the Ravengers, so just use stone or stone bricks or something, and then cover them completely so that the raids can't spawn on top of the beds. In my testing, it never happened, but they can get thrown up there, and this will protect the leaves up here for yeah, the stone will keep the mobs from getting thrown onto the beds by the golems, and then the leaves will protect the stone from mobs spawning on it. And then on top of these leaves, you can actually build a zombie curing station, and it will give you discounts at all of your trading villagers. So, yeah, you can do something like that. And then back to the Trident Killer, just go up to the top, throw some Tridents in. Impaling 5 makes them work a lot better. And then fix this if you followed my direction and did it wrong. And then, yeah, just encase this thing in glass so you can see what's going on inside. And yeah, and then we'll go up to the AFK spot and check it out. Yeah, there it is. So then up at the AFK spot, some stuff has changed because of the placement of the scaffolding. Anyway, so build this back out, and then you're gonna want to AFK here. Yeah, so we got Bad Omen. Yeah, so I need to make myself into survival mode, and then we should see raids. Now, this is what I was trying to explain to you earlier. So the distance between your AFK spot and the level where your villagers are is not very straightforward. It seems to be completely freaking random, actually. So, yeah, so there we go. So we got it there. We have to be even closer for some reason, right? So, my raid farm slash iron farm slash village trader hall on Serial Craft is actually 13 blocks away. 13 blocks. That's why I chose 13 blocks for this tutorial, right? And then when we tried it just now, it didn't work. I have to be even closer. So, and then also on Serial Craft, I found that I can start raids from hundreds of blocks away if I'm in a specific place. So it seems to be completely some kind of random thing. I don't understand. Maybe watch Old Guy's tutorial. Maybe he has a better explanation. But so what I advise is make your AFK spot like this, and then just pillar up with scaffolding, and you know, until it starts a raid, and then that's where you need to be. And once you start the raid from Bad Omen, you don't have to be as close to keep the raids going. So that seems to be a thing as well. And yeah, so if you do have to pillar up from back there, what I recommend you doing is maybe taking out one of the scaffoldings by the upside down stair and putting a fireplace there. Whatever they're called. Is it fire pit, fireplace, fire? Anyway, campfire? Campfire. I think it's called campfire. Anyway, put a campfire there to kill the XP. Either that or make some kind of an XP transportation system to get to you up there. And remember, whatever you do, you got to use either leaves or scaffolding, or the raids will spawn where they shouldn't. And you can always build yourself a little house out of leaves if you feel unsafe from like phantoms or whatnot. But you shouldn't have that problem under here. Anyway, that is going to do it for this tutorial. I really hope that it was easy to follow. It was really difficult to put together. And yeah, I wish you all good luck, and please leave comments if you'd like. Um, I didn't get to the bottom layer of this thing, but like I said, I don't think it's necessary. If you really want, I can tell you about it, but you can also just look at it from here and pretty much figure out what it is. It's basically 8 blocks, and then you step up one, and then go 3 more blocks, and then the wall, and then you put a half slab, and that half slab, or it doesn't even need to be a half slab. Because you're getting 2 leaves on the top level, so yeah, you just make a wall around it. That's it. That's all, and you spam it with water. But like I say, it's not even necessary after 17.30, and so I wouldn't worry about it. Anyway, that's all. Thank you guys. I will see you next time. Goodbye.